Hello, Elaine.
Hi, Olga.
Hi.
Uh, it's
How
so
are
funny.
you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm fine. Yes,
We
Saturday.
we should tell everyone, hi everyone who's joined, that you are
Hello,
upstairs.
everyone.
You are upstairs from me. It's so funny. We're doing Insta Live. You could be anywhere in the whole world, and you are in the flat, not quite above me, opposite above me.
Would you
Um,
like me to knock in the door?
no, I want it live. I want an audience. So really, this is great. This is very exciting. What I wanted to talk about, I think, well, you approached me and said, look, how about it? And I just thought, I've always been interested in, I find myself, as most women do probably, not normally in the perfume department of a department store, because I just like department stores, but duty free. And I look around the aisles and I do the spraying and I think, what on earth, how do I know whether I like it? And often, um, you smell it on your wrist. Who knows? And then people say things like, oh, it's very sweet, or it's very fruity, or it's a bit acidy, and I think it's a bit like me and wine, actually. I either like it or I don't. But somebody recommended a perfume in a perfume department. I said, oh, is there anything you can recommend? And he recommended it. And I was with two very good friends and they both said, oh, Elaine, it's fantastic. It's For Her by Narcissus Rodriguez. And every time I would wear it, mainly at Portobello, everyone would say, oh, Elaine, that perfume is amazing. And I almost didn't smell it on me. I read once that if you can't smell your own perfume, it's a good sign. So anyway, over to you, Olga, because you are the expert. Tell us about, I guess, how you choose perfume and what are the signs to look for or to not look for. And everybody, if you've got any questions, oh, hi, Shelley, and Wendy, if you've got any questions, please ask, and we'll sort of pause every, whatever, 6 minutes and be able to answer your questions. Okay, Olga.
I'm so happy you agreed to have this talk because I can speak about perfumes for hours and hours. So this is another opportunity to speak to somebody about it. And well, you're perfectly right about the fact that if this perfume suits you, you do not feel it on yourself. But at the same time, the explanation is slightly different. Because we do not smell with our noses, we smell with our brain. And if our brain, that is made to defend us, says that there is nothing wrong with the smells around us, we stop noticing them. So if you're comfortable with the smell you are wearing, you stop noticing it. Even if other people around you will say, oh, how you're gorgeous, and you smell wonderfully, your brain is just, so our brain is lazy a little bit. So the less it can work, it grabs the opportunity. So it just says, all is fine, all is fine. And huge department stores, unfortunately, are so unproductive from the point of view of finding the right perfume because it overwhelms you. Small boutiques are much better because there is less choice, and of course the shop assistants.
Sorry, Alka, what do you mean? Department stores are lazy in finding the right. You mean they're lazy in helping you find the right perfume?
No. Department stores are not good to help you to find, not the personnel, but there is so much choice that you get lost.
Okay.
And then you get overwhelmed with the fragrances. And then we often spray the fragrances in the wrong way. There is too much alcohol in the fragrance, and alcohol, what it does, it blocks your perception of the perfume itself. So first of all, if you are in a huge store or in tax-free, do not spray your perfume too close to the blotter. So this is the blotter. Traditionally we spray it from the narrow side. It does not matter now because we all have sprays all the perfumes are with sprays now, but in the times when there were stoppers, you needed a narrow side to
the
get
shape
into
is
it.
retained, even though it's
Exactly.
not.
Yes, but you can see round blotters of any kind now.
Yeah. Okay.
Quadrangle, any kind of.
Just
Oh,
tell
hi,
us how
Anjum.
you do it.
Oh, I see a friendly face. Anjum, hello. So anyway, when you're in a store, in order not to get overwhelmed by the alcohol in the perfume, you spray it at a kind of 20 centimeters.
Okay.
And then you can stay the whole day in the department store in tax free, because your nose will keep on recognizing different fragrances, because the alcohol will not kill this perception to distinguish different fragrances. And so this is one thing. Then huge department stores are not ventilated very well, not like your wonderful flat right now.
Yeah, I need to close my... There's a storm coming. Okay.
And I will enjoy this Miss Dior. Oh my God, it's wonderful. So, so when you're in department store, it's not ventilated very well, and what we really need to make the molecules open is oxygen. So if you feel that it's too hot and stuffy in a room, you go out and you can feel this perfume.
And they feel it, you mean smell it?
Smell it, yes.
Okay.
Well, this is it. So it's better to go to small boutiques, and there are a few of them in London, because there is less choice. You do not go crazy, and the personnel is better trained. Most of the times is better trained. They know their collection.
But you don't get these, you know, these like on Oxford Street designer perfumes, and it's like those. It's almost like an outlet counter. You don't mean those?
No, there are boutiques like...
Give us a couple, please.
In Covent Garden, you'll find a lovely boutique which is called Bloom Perfumery.
Okay.
There is a smaller shop with Millie Harris, which is a London brand. Or you can go to Penhaligon's. They've got a lovely store near the Opera House, Royal Opera House.
They sell Penhaligon perfume? They
do, but then you go, I know, the Mecca for the lovers of extraordinary perfumes is Jovoy, which is five minutes on foot from Oxford Circus in Conduit Street 21.
Can you spell it? Sorry, can you
Conduit
spell it?
Street?
No.
Conduit
Jovoy.
Street is
Jovoy.
Jovoy.
Yes, Jovoy.
Jovoy. Jovoy. And it's not Jovoy. No. Even if the main shop is in Paris it is still Jovoy, because it's the combination of the names of the owners. So it's Jovoy.
Fine.
And the personnel is really lovely.
Lovely. If I be in the West End, which should be great. No, I'll go there. And tell me, you talked earlier when we did our sort of prep call about the difference in certain people's skin and how that affects what they might choose.
Exactly. There is dry type of skin and oily type of skin. So if your skin is oily, it retains fragrances. So you can use very light citrusy and floral fragrances, but they stay longer on you. Right. Because of the oil. If you've got dry skin, it will evaporate really, really quickly. So you would need heavier scents if you want, always if you want, this scent to last longer. If you don't want it, if you use it just like aromatherapy for yourself. You can use any kind.
Oh,
And what I really noticed that your body is smart, and my skin is oily, and I prefer florals and citruses.
mm-hmm.
So most of the time.
So florals and citruses for drier skin. Oh, sorry, for oily skin.
For oily skin.
And for drier skin, when you say heavier, like what? Musk or?
It can be the perfume itself can be more complex. It can be oil, perfume oils. It can have, it can be a chypre. It can be oud, very popular now. Something oriental, sweeter and oriental kind of fragrance.
Can you give a couple of examples that people, including myself, the crude, uneducated ones, can give me a couple of examples that I might know of?
With pleasure. With pleasure. You might have the sample of Miss Dior.
Yes, you dropped it down to me.
Yes. So this is a classical chypre, and even if it's a relatively new perfume, it's 2011, it smells really, really close to the original Miss Dior, the first Dior's perfume of 1947.
What is chypre? What is
chypre? Chypre is a kind of a composition, kind of a perfume, which contains oak moss in it.
Uh-huh.
And so this one is one of the most famous chypres. And there's another one, a gorgeous one, but it was reformulated. It's Yvresse by Yves Saint Laurent. You can find it in a, uglier bottle, modern bottle.
It's the smell, my brain. And
yes, and it was reformulated, so it's not as deep as this one. Mm-hmm. So, but if you find it somewhere, it's gorgeous. This is chypre as well. And what you have in your bag is Ruth Mastenbroek's signature. Ruth Mastenbroek is the modern Russian, I would love to. She's the modern English perfumer, and she worked for Jo Malone. She had a wonderful career before starting her own business. Mm-hmm. And this is her first perfume, and it's a chypre, but it sounds really, really modern, because you would think that, well, chypre is 20s, 40s, it might be too vintagey, but if you try Signature by Ruth Mastenbroek, you will see that it's really, really modern, and you can find it everywhere on her website, Fortnum & Mason's.
I love it.
It's just gorgeous. It's sweet.
So is this chypre or is this citrusy and fruity?
This is chypre.
And
yes.
So the only difference isn't whether your skin is affected bad, it's just the longevity.
Yes.
So I could like chypre as equally as I could like a citrusy and fruity perfume.
Perfumes are in the I like section.
Okay. Now, may I ask another? Well, of course I may. I'm the only one who can. If anyone has got any questions, please ask. I've had the experience with one woman, and my older sister has the experience with me. Those are the only two incidents when a woman, she's a friend, she wears a particular perfume that when she comes near me, I recoil. And my older sister, this perfume that everyone else adores on me, she recoils. Why is that?
We are very complex, and
or is it the brain that we're recoiling from the person, not the scent?
Not exactly.
Okay.
It can be hormones.
Okay.
And our own perception of different fragrances changes from day to day. It depends on our mood, on the cycle, on the weather, whether we're depressed or not. you can try to sniff a perfume, the same perfume each day, and you will see how differs your perception from day to day. This is one thing. So maybe on the hormonal level.
Just 1 second. Dolce Mia Sima has said almost the same thing. How come most perfumes, she says, make me nauseous?
It can be a hormonal thing. Yes. And I return to what I said at the beginning. We smell by our brain, not by our nose. And we are so complex because we are human beings. And there can be memories connected to this perfume, because what they say sometimes that lavender calms down, and it doesn't work for everybody, because if you had a very bad aunt who was very nasty with you and she wore a lavender fragrance, you will hate it to the rest of the life. Yes. And so this one, the psychological aspect and physiological aspect, they can be compound in the perfume or in their perfumes, which make your friend allergic to or intolerant to. So if she has any food intolerance, it can be the sign that she's allergic or intolerant to a compound in the fragrance.
Just to make that real. So if my sister is allergic to something that the perfume that I wear that everyone else tells me they love, she's allergic to that compound, that will make her recoil.
This is one of the reasons. What I noticed in my experience, I really couldn't stand violet, but then I found out that a lot of perfumes, so-called rose perfumes, contain violet. And from the moment I found it out, I felt that violet is my best friend now.
Oh, how come?
Well, because it's part of my favorite fragrance.
I.e. your brain?
Yes, that was my brain. Good. For example. What I can say, the majority of perfumes we can buy now are synthetic, and it's not bad. Also because the synthetic molecules do not give allergy, almost never.
Can you explain to us the difference between synthetic and, if it's not synthetic, what's real? What's
real and synthetic are two different things. And
perfume,
for example, the first colognes were made of alcohol, which is synthetic, by the way.
Yes.
So with alcohol plus citrus oil, bergamot oil, and you could drink it because it was drinkable alcohol and it was natural oil. Natural compounds can be rose oil, or now it's prohibited, musk, which we extract from the deer, from the gland of the deer, or natural compounds like castoreum that come from the glands of what's the name of this animal? Anyway, never mind. From an animal.
Is that banned? Is that
beaver?
Banned? Oh, is
yes,
that
from the beaver. Right now? It's banned. Sure, sure.
Good.
So, or the ambergris, which was a product of digestion of the whales. So the whales were killed before, and ambergris was extracted from their stomach. When it was prohibited, you could only find ambergris on the shore of the sea, of the ocean. And now they synthesize the same molecule. So it smells like ambergris, but you do not need to kill the whale.
Likewise, they synthesize the musk and they synthesize the beaver thing.
Yes. So if you are allergic to rose oil, and rose can be really, really allergenic, if the perfumer used synthesized molecules, you can use this perfume, you're fine, because only natural ingredients can give you this reaction.
So in a way, it's interesting. Your Anjam Hailing has said we have Yvresse too. What's Yvresse?
Yvresse is Yvresse is the International Fragrance Association, regulatory association that dictates rules.
Okay.
And if they find out that the oak moss, for example, which is used a lot in Chyprus, gives an allergy to too many people, it will be banned. So, and they actually banned oak moss. Now there is no real oak moss in perfumes, only the synthetic molecules.
So it's interesting that normally one, it's like, oh no, everything must be natural, and synthetic is too. But in the world of perfume, synthetic is okay, because what's natural to me is unbearable with.
Natural perfumes can be really, really tasty.
Yeah,
let's use this word.
Not if it's the antithesis of sustain. I don't want a bee die in order to get.
Yes. I think this is quite unfortunate for perfumery that the word natural and synthetic is considered in the rest of the world as the opposites.
Yes.
It's not the same in perfumery. And thanks to synthetic molecules, we have wonderful, wonderful perfumes like Yves Saint Laurent, all the collections. So they're not possible without synthetic elements in them at all.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have soliflors like rose, but we will not be able to have lily of the valley, because lily of the valley is the flower that does not give oil. You cannot extract natural oil out of the flower. Or lilac. Lilac does not produce any oil.
Sorry, I've lost you. Explain what you mean about
the synthetics. So a lot of fragrances that we consider natural are not natural. They are the combination of synthetic molecules, like lily of the valley, and we would never have Diorissimo.
Do you mean that a lily of the valley scent doesn't come from lily of the valley, because lily of the valley doesn't produce an oil?
No, not at all.
Likewise.
So it doesn't have essential oils at all. You can do something, but first of all, it's poisonous.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't smell like lily of the valley, and you get just a little drop out of the whole field of lily of the valleys. So without synthetic processes, we would never have Diorissimo. We would never have a Lilac a Day by Wilhelm Perfumery, or like Frederic Malle's En Passant, which smells like lilac. So, and we would never have wonderfully fragrant washing liquids, because a lot of compounds are synthetic, but they smell like flowers.
Olga, how did you're such, to me, you are just, your knowledge and your historical knowledge of perfume is so great. How did it begin? Surely it's got to be more than just, I love perfume.
I only hope not to be a bore.
We all hope not to be bores. Let's face it. To me, you're not. God.
So,
it's only half an hour, Mr. Live.
Well, the more you learn, the more things come up to the light, and the more interested you get, because you find out so many stories connected to perfumes. So my journey started with the Perfume Society in London. And you know that the whole perfumery and perfumers were part of the mysterious part of the world. So you were not allowed in because it was all kind of magic, what they did. And these wonderful ladies who started the Perfume Society decided to popularize the knowledge. And I was lucky to, I don't even remember how, finding their events. So I started attending the events, and they also have a really nice magazine which is called the Scented Letter. So I started reading it and meeting the perfumers. They organized the meetings with perfumers, and they organized events for the launches of new perfumes, for example. And more you go, more you learn, and more it just draws you in, because it's a wonderful, wonderful thing to know, or to deal with, or to read. So it's been some time now that I'm completely crazy about perfumes and the story. And I always loved telling stories or reading stories. And so my love for the stories and for the perfumes combined in one. And reading about the perfumers is wonderful, because each perfumer can be the main character of a movie.
Yes.
Of an exciting movie.
Because we've only got about 3 minutes more, you were going to talk, that leads us swiftly on to the first designer ever that designed their own perfume. So go on.
So it's Paul Poiret, the one who, by the way, introduced trousers to women, and the harem trousers. Yes, exactly. And in 1911, he started his own business, and he created a perfume that he dedicated to his daughter, Rosine. So the first ever perfume that was created by a designer is La Rose de Rosine, from the Le Parfum de Rosine. This brand exists still till now, but the first perfume was not a complex one. It was just a rose for a young girl. But Paul Poiret was the first one who was the trendsetter, because he didn't only sold clothes and they were high fashion, but he was also the lifestyle coach, let's say, because he created a perfume that he thought that would be suitable for his dresses, and even furniture and wallpaper. So he was the lifestyle designer, the first one.
He was ahead of his time.
He was, yeah, he started our times, I would say. And it was only 1911. It's amazing. And then he had Robert Piguet, who you might know because of the Bandit perfume, and Germaine Cellier, the first woman perfumer who worked for Piguet. So Piguet worked.
Yes.
Yes. So Piguet worked for Paul Poiret, and then it was Piguet who taught Dior, Christian Dior. So this is a lovely chain of people who transmitted their passion and their knowledge. And then we had Dior because somebody taught him.
Yes.
And they all had perfumes for their collection. So, but it all started, let's say, in 1911.
And Olga, I'm just conscious it's 13:29. So I wanted, you know, you could go on for hours.
I know.
Maybe we'll do another session because it's fascinating, and you're really giving your wealth of knowledge away, which is wonderful.
Did you notice what I'm wearing?
Oh, my dress.
Yes, absolutely.
So that makes two of us. Olga, that's great. No, we should do it again because it's
Let's
really,
do that.
Really interesting. And I should know that it was Paul Poiret and then Piguet and then
Dior.
So it really ran in the family, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
So stay fragrant.
Yes.
And use perfumes.
I will.
Bye. It was lovely to see you. Bye all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.